This is Yohhamgambal. We're back playing Shin Megami Tensei Digital Devil Saga. Last time we just saved Sarah from... well, no, we didn't save Sarah. I'm sorry. We just... Because before we saved Sarah, and then we finally got rid of Bats. We tricked him, and we killed him in a giant ship. I almost said spaceship, but we killed him in a giant, like, boat ship. And now we're just at our new base. Not much else is going on at the moment. Sarah's just singing, and we're going to go see her in just a second. So, yep, we gotta... Now that we have Sarah back, we gotta figure out how we're going to reach Nirvana. We still have 2 more tribe leaders we need to get rid of. We need to get rid of Lupa, the leader of the Wolf tribes, and we need to get rid of Varen, the leader of the Brutes. But those two have been fighting each other for a long time, but hopefully we can just kind of sneak in on the last group, and then we can just head to Nirvana. But it probably won't be that simple, because this is Shin Megami Tensei, and things normally don't go that smoothly, and end up rather messy. So, yeah, let's go see Sarah.
Light shines on heaven, earth and spirit light brings glory and grace. May it open our eyes to the truth, Shanti, Shanti. Divine light, our heart cries out to you, deliver.
You're that worried about Surf?
Hmm? We're comrades.
That's not what I meant. Surf can't protect you. Can't you see that I'm stronger than him?
Heat, you're hurting me.
Come on, you saw what happened back there. I could have killed him without even trying.
I already know you're strong. But strength isn't everything, Heat. Surf...
Sarah.
Hey, what's going on? Why you just standing there, huh?
It's nothing.
I have bad news. It seems that Vishuddha has been overrun.
You said the wolves would last longer than that.
Though it defies probability, the fact is undeniable. And to make matters worse, the remaining members of the Solids have been forcibly enlisted by the Brutes tribe. At this rate, I am afraid they will destroy us all.
Oh, give me a break. Didn't Surf kill their boss? Why did the Solids join the Brutes, huh?
Argilla, tell me, would you follow Varen if he defeated Surf?
Of course I wouldn't.
Heat?
Huh? I'd take Surf's place.
Exactly. The law states that members of a defeated tribe are to obey the leader of the victorious tribe. That rule has been disregarded.
The law seems to be losing its effect on us. But why could that be?
Everyone has changed, just as you have.
It sounds to me like you knew about this all along. What were you planning to do?
If the wolves had held out, we could have fought the Brutes together. That is why this is so unfortunate.
Boss! Lupa from the Wolves. He's asking to see you.
Did you say Lupa? Where did he come from?
Well, you wouldn't believe it if I told you. We have them detained at Svadhisthana.
Let us go, Surf.
Alright, we have a game plan. We gotta go meet Lupa, the leader of the wolves. You know, that scene with Heat and Sarah. Oh boy, you know, you feel so bad for, I mean, I personally feel bad for both, but for different reasons. One, I feel bad for Sarah because obviously, you know, she's being, I wouldn't say being taken advantage of, but definitely being overpowered and put into a position that she doesn't want to be. Because although she does care about Heat, she cares about Surf a little more in a more special way. And obviously that's probably was her first kiss that Heat stole from her, so that's pretty unfortunate and pretty sad. But then I also feel bad for Heat too, because he has arguably what is an obsession over Sarah, but at this point in the story we don't know why he does. I know why, and it doesn't make his actions right. It doesn't make his actions right, but it adds context to why he's so obsessed about her, and it makes you kind of be like, that makes sense. And it's sad because it's like he obviously cares deeply about her, but and there's something in him that he can't control. That's why he cares so deeply about her, and you know, it's sad. You know, it's a little, it's an unsettling scene to say the least, especially when her arms drop. I always found that pretty spooky. But yeah, though, I mean, what can you do? Anyways, as you can see, a lot of our characters have learned new abilities. Yeah, you want to be at a pretty... I'm going to be... In this part, I do some level grinding, like right before we actually start the dungeons, so there'll be a shift in the characters' levels and abilities, because this boss, the boss that we're actually going to face in this part can be tricky if you're not careful. It doesn't give me any trouble, thankfully, but it can be tricky if you don't have the right abilities for it, or you don't really know what you're facing up against. But to be fair, that's against like any boss or enemy, so it's not... Yeah. Unfortunately, I can't really buy anything else right now because I'm kind of broke. Thankfully, though, we'll be getting a lot more money in the next dungeons, because enemies really just start dropping a lot more money, and soon we'll be able to do go to a place that's known as the Titania Hallway, where you can get a lot of money really quickly. That's not going to be for a while, but it is coming up sooner than it is later, so that's good at least. But we got to go meet Lupa now, in the place of the I can't remember what the place is called, but it's where the Vanguards used to live. So we have to go there now. And let's talk to everyone real quick. A leader cannot be replaced. Yeah, I guess. But I still think you're the leader, Gale. Yeah, I definitely understand that. But we don't really have much of a choice. Yep, apparently everyone's known Sarah's song before. I would taste better than her. I don't think that's really the issue, dude. I don't think he wants to eat her. I mean, at least not... Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he does, but not in the way that this world defines eating. And there's... Yeah, you can go this way, too. Excuse me. I still have a little bit of a cold. I've been dealing with a cold for, like, the past 2 weeks, so it's been really annoying. So now we just have to go to... It's called Savada. No, it's this one. Saharasa? No, that's the temple. Come on, Pat. Nope, there you go, Yoham. Good job. You definitely want to pick up, I don't know if I've mentioned this item before yet, but you can get basically, like, a repel item that will just repel, weaker enemies. And you definitely want to get it, because otherwise you'll just constantly be attacked by enemies that offer no money and no experience, so it's really annoying. But the way to make the item appear is you have to sell a certain number of cells, and normally it's better to wait for the solar sound to be at the highest level, but I just kind of didn't care, and I just wanted to get the money. I mean, I just wanted to get the item to appear. Probably not the best idea, because I could have probably made a decent amount of money waiting for the solar sound to be at its highest level, but I was being a little lazy, and I didn't really care too much, because I'll be running across a lot of money pretty soon anyways. Because I don't mind grinding in this game, so money isn't really an issue for me. It's just you have to put a little time into it. But yeah, so anyways, you want to get this Estoma spray, which basically just makes weaker enemies not mess with you, which again is really nice. Because I wouldn't say this game's encounter rate is higher than something like Nocturne, but it can get a little annoying at points, so yeah. Yep, we gotta get going. I don't know. You sure have a lot of feelings, Sarah. But, okay. Anyways, just cutting it out, because you need to... We'll be coming here very soon. This red wall. Yeah, we'll be coming there very soon for a secret boss. I'm actually probably going to record that part today or tomorrow, because I'm already at the point where I can do it. But that's not going to be for another, like... Actually, that's like one part away from now, so... Yeah. Anyways, to get to Lupa, you need to... I think it's this way. It's either this way or... No, it's not this way. But it is down here. This way just gets you an item. We've gone to where Lupa's going to meet us before. But he just wasn't there, obviously, so we couldn't do anything. Got a vital noise, so definitely giving that to our main character. Whose stats are really starting to... They're going to start really skyrocketing pretty soon, because I start putting a lot into luck, and I'm actually putting some of the strength, just because that way he takes less physical damage. Plus, it's just good because, you know, it's just nice when he takes less physical damage. And there's a place where you can grind for vital noises, and just, that way you don't really have to put any into, there's a place where you can grind for vital noises and luck noises, so that way you don't have to put any of your skill points into them, and you could just put them into agility and power. Because agility, I know power is the rarest noise to find. I don't know about agility. I don't know if I've ever... I know I've run across some, but I don't know what enemies drop them. So I think they're fairly rare, but not as rare as power. But yeah. So there's that. And this is where we need to meet the leader of the wolves, Lupa. Yep, they came out of their hideout. That sounds like something important in the second game. We know, Heat, you're so tough. Yeah, we've been here before, but there just wasn't anything to do here. No, it's fine. No big deal, Lupa. We're in a weird position. You know, living in the junkyard and all that shit.
State your business.
Will the Embryon assist us to defeat Varen?
Under what conditions?
Your leader will receive my head. In exchange, I ask you to treat my men fairly.
Gale!
What assurance do we have that you are not here on Varen's behalf?
I vow upon my honor.
Honor? What is this honor you speak of?
I see it within you as well.
I do not comprehend. How does one see such a thing?
I can see it in your eyes.
Cyber Shaman?
Varen has referred to the girl that way. Supposedly, she could easily destroy this world with her power.
Hey, are you all right?
She doesn't even know anything about herself. How could she have such power?
Can you honestly say you know yourself?
What?
I've had several dreams about a child lately. In these dreams, he calls me Father.
Dreams?
I feel as if I have something to tell the child. But perhaps someone else will, in my absence.
Someone else? That is illogical. I do not understand. Why do you not just tell him yourself?
Have you ever seen a child here in the junkyard? You're beginning to understand. Why must we continue to fight this war? For what purpose does this world exist? Why have we developed identities? Once Varen is defeated, it is then you will discover the truth.
Comb the area! Varen's gonna kill us if we don't find them! Did you find them? Search down that way!
So they found this place, too. Up ahead is an entrance to their base. Go and kill Varen. I'll buy you some time.
Against all those guys? Now I know you crazy.
I was the leader of my tribe. You are the ones in danger.
What do you mean?
The wolves fell to Varen alone.
He did that? All by himself?
He's become unstoppable somehow. You cannot defeat him alone. In fact, her power may be the only way.
My power?
As promised.
Lupa. There is someone I must meet as well. Let us go to Nirvana together.
In order to rule over the tribes, you must defeat their leaders. Will the temple make an exception?
If not, we will destroy the temple.
So be it.
Wow, alright then. Whew, man, Gale is getting some serious green eyes in that part. It's funny how Gale is like... I'm trying to think. Gale obviously is taking the longest to actually... He still hasn't even fully developed his personality yet. Except that his personality is, I guess, that he is kind of stoic. No, I guess stoic's not the right word, but, you know, almost robotic. But he seems to really attach himself to this idea of honor, which is interesting. Yeah, there's no children in this world. Only fully grown adults. Yeah, though. So Gale, I think out of, I think in particular, Gale and Surf are kind of interesting when it comes to their characters because Surf, obviously. Oh, and here I believe this is where I did some off-screen training. Yeah, as you can see, they have some new moves and they're a little higher leveled. But yeah, though Gale and Surf are kind of interesting because, well, everyone else seems to have these very strong personalities that we don't know where they come from at the moment. Gale and Surf do not. Surf, obviously, Surf is more special. Surf is a more particular case because we learn in the next game. But even so, Gale still hasn't really awakened his own personality yet, quite either. So it's kind of interesting how that works out. But anyways, we are in the sewer now, and there is, this place is actually fairly big, and I'm looking at my video timeline, and I'm looking at all the cuts. Whew, man, there's a lot of cuts, because there's a lot of enemies here. We actually encounter a lot of new enemies, in this part, too. We encounter a lot of new enemies. I think we've run across. I think there's some old enemies here too, but there's a lot of new enemies here we haven't met yet. So, and I think I kept running away from those battles because I was trying to level up the other characters, but because I don't have Surf in the party, but for whatever reason, it seemed like I kept getting ambushed. So I don't know if that's actually a game mechanic where if Surf's not in the party, you get ambushed more often, and they were not in their transformed state. I don't know if that is something, but every fight when I didn't have Surf in it, they just kept getting ambushed and weren't in their transformed state. So it's just like, okay, I think I eventually put Surf back in, I believe, but okay, so this time it didn't. Anyways, we have a new enemy here. These are the Karusa, and they're basically just they're Tengus, and Tengus are just I think they're from Japanese mythology. They're like crow people, except what's interesting about the Karuso is, well, they're crow people that have like really long noses, but the Karuso actually don't though. They actually have beaks that are hidden. They have like beaks that are hidden. And I think their name means heavenly dog, despite the fact that they're birds. I don't know why they're referred to as heavenly dogs. Maybe that has to do with, I don't know, maybe dogs keep order. That's kind of my thought. But Carusos in particular like to haunt people and whisper corruptive words in their ears. So yeah, that's kind of interesting. They reflect force, they avoid electricity, and they're weak to ailments. These guys are actually kind of annoying though, especially since I'm being stupid in this fight too. Because they don't have any weaknesses except for ailments, and I forgot that they were weak to ailments, which makes this fight a lot harder than it needs to be. So, yeah, I was just being dumb. But yeah, I think I do I put my okay, I guess not. And I don't remember what's behind that red wall. It might be a secret boss or just an item. I can't recall. There's a lot of different places that have secret bosses, so I don't think that one does, though. I think that... No, I think you had to go that way. Yeah, you had to go that way. Oh, I can't even go that way anyways, though, because I don't have the red key. Actually, the what's over there is just a is a haunting ground, so you could fight those enemies and get a lot of experience. I don't go back there just because I don't really like using them. I mean, they're pretty good to get Atma, but I never use it. You know, I just do a lot of grinding anyways for the money to get more abilities, so it just kind of works out that way that I don't use it. Sorry, I just scratched my ear. But yeah, though, that's just a hunting ground, so I don't use that. But we actually will get the red key in this part, so we actually do get the final key in this part, which is really good, because we need that to get the secret bosses and the other good items. So yeah. But it's the red key is actually probably the hardest one to get. Anyways, we have two new enemies here. The enemy in the... oh my goodness, my throat, I'm so sorry. The enemy in the middle is called a Mizazuchi. It's a Japanese dragon, or a water deity. Sometimes called the rain controller, or a snake deity. And interesting enough though, while in Japanese I think it's kind of seen as like a good spirit, in Buddhism it seems to be a creature of evil. So yeah, but they absorb ice, they avoid physical and death, resist earth, but they're weak to fire. And then the other enemy that's next to it, the giant manta ray thing, is called Fornius. He's one of the 72 demons of the Geotai. I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's like Geotai, and that's from Israel. The 72 demons, I think they're just a bunch of demons that kind of have different abilities and different things. I didn't really quite understand it when reading through it, but apparently there's 72 of them. But interesting enough, though, he can take the form of a human or sometimes a silver sea monster, which is what I think we see him as. But he's the teacher of rhetoric, language, gives men good names, and makes them loved by their enemies, which is kind of an interesting ability. But it reflects ice, fire, death, resists earth, but it's weak to elect. And I think it's also weak to force, too. I believe it's also weak to force as well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's weak to force. Well, I don't think he has time to eat them. He's trying to get rid of them. But yeah, though, Lupa's avatar tune is pretty cool, too. It's Cerberus. Cerberus actually has, actually learned something funny about Cerberus, but I'll talk about it later. I'm so sorry about my, my cold. I want to do this, but it's like, I'm not sick, but I still kind of You know, where you still kind of have some phlegm left in your throat. I mean, I've been wrestling with this for like 2 weeks now. It's really insane. I even had to take a day off of work from it, which is something I never do. I don't like to be sick from work. But sometimes you just got to. This place is actually kind of annoying because it's pretty big. It's pretty big. But what I was saying before is that the red key, you get the red key here, but it's also probably the most annoying key to get if you don't know how to get it. Thankfully I do, but if you don't, it's super easy to miss. And you probably will miss it. Because it's very specific. Anyways, a unique feature about these tunnels is there's these little waterways you have to go through. Yep, you have to go through these waterways, and after a certain amount of time, you'll be flushed out. So you have to make your way there fast, because the current flushes you out. It's not a time limit in the fact that you got to move fast. It's just a time limit that the solar noise will eventually shift. So anyways, I'm showing you now the Fortius because even though we've already seen him, when you beat him, they sometimes have a chance to call for recruitment for a special enemy that you can fight. And I just wanted to show you that because I wouldn't say he's rare, but you don't really see him that often. So I just wanted you to see him real quick. He basically looks like a Fortius, but he has like a bigger face and a crown on his head. Yep, there he is. And that enemy, where did I put it? Did I not put his name? I know I did his name somewhere. Oh jeez, did I forget to do him? Or is he Fortius? No, he's not Fortius. No, that guy's Fortius. What the hell am I thinking about? I'm really confused. Oh, you know what? I know what I did. I'm stupid. Sorry. He's Fortius. The other enemy that we talked about, we've already fought before. I was just getting him confused because they look so similar. So sorry about that. So Fortius, yeah, he's the one who's weak to just electricity. He's not weak to force. Sorry about that. I think I was getting confused because the other enemies were with Mizusuchi, and so I thought he was Fortius, and so my mistake. They look really similar, except one's just kind of bigger and has a different head. So, my bad about that. My bad. So yeah. Come on, there you go. Heal heat. So yeah, you just go through these currents and they pull you through. And you have to go through them a very specific way. Otherwise, again, you'll just get flushed out after the time limit. It's not too bad, but, you know, it can be annoying because sometimes you can't go through certain currents, and other times you think they're going to take you one way, but they take you another, so... And you don't really know where the exit is, so it can be a little hard. And I actually have a guide for this part just because I don't ever remember which way I need to go. And especially to get the red key, you need to do this again. And you actually have to go through a very specific pattern and then turn a valve that will change all the current's directions. So, yeah, it's very specific for that. But we're not there quite yet. It's at the end. It's more at the end of the dungeon. Alright. It must be Lupa. Man, Lupa's strong as hell. I like how he just transformed, though. He just walked away and he just transformed. Pretty sweet. I do find it funny, though, how Gale is really... Lupa really inspired a lot of change in him. And, again, that's something you see even more in the second game. Mercilessly torn. Seems like Lupa's getting a little more brutal as time goes on. Yeah, before it was kind of like really neat and respectfully murdered his enemies, and now I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I think I was trying to... Yeah, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to get Violent God all the way up, because now we get Power Charge, which is a super good ability. Power Charge basically it's a magic move. It costs 5 MP, so it's not very expensive, but it doubles your physical attack for the next turn, which is really, really good. And for someone like Heat, that is really good. So yeah, and also get Void Physical, which is also a very good ability. It's actually a really expensive move at 20 MP, but it makes all physical attacks void, which can be helpful in certain fights. And that's just kind of good to have on Heat anyways, because, yeah. I actually start getting rid of the eating abilities because I don't really use them on screen. I only use them for training every now and then, and even then, I just don't really use them a ton. So I actually get rid of those, which actually frees up more slots for my characters, which is nice. I think I start making him... Do I get a... No, I don't do that one. I think I do Demon God, because Demon God's actually... Because Chi Blast is really good. I think I might make him start... I think I put him back on the fire, because I want him... Yeah, I want him to learn more fire abilities. Again, even though his magic isn't super strong, sometimes just getting that extra turn is really useful. And, you know, he does decent enough damage with his magic, especially if you have, like, we have a fire boost right now, but we'll get fire amp, which basically is a stronger fire boost. And what's really nice is if you have fire boost and fire amp, it makes... You can really power up their elementals. So if you have both amps and boost, you can, like... Yeah, you can make their elemental attacks very strong. And there's items over there, and I get them. You don't have to. They're actually kind of not that useful, but... Just for the sake of getting them. So, yeah. Unfortunately, though, one of them turns out to be an enemy. So, maybe not the best idea, but it's okay. And got cursed, but not a big deal. Curse isn't really that big of a deal, honestly. Sometimes it's annoying, but I've never really found it too bad. For the longest time, I didn't really understand. What it did, because I was like, I don't get this. So this is an item. I think it's just a cell. Yeah. Okay, theory cell. That's decent enough to sell. Sell. But this is a new enemy, Gorgon. Or also, I think Gorgon translates into Dreadful One. So Gorgons are actually pretty famous creatures. They're from Greek mythology. Probably the most famous Gorgon that is known is Medusa. But Medusa is a Gorgon. I think she's kind of like a special Gorgon. Or she is at least a Gorgon, but she's just kind of the most well-known because she has a specific name to her. But Gorgons basically have hair made of snakes, and looking at them causes petrification. And Gorgons were once beautiful women, but cursed by Athena. Of course, Athena being the goddess of wisdom, courage, inspiration, civilization, philosophy, justice, law, mathematics, strength, arts, crafts, skills, and reason. And also Kratos' best buddy cursed them because they were beautiful, and they become hideous creatures. Yeah, but they reflect death, resist ice, electric force, but they're weak to fire. Gorgons are pretty interesting. I've always found them really interesting creatures, just because they were once beautiful women who were cursed by Athena. And of course, the most famous one being Medusa. And I think Medusa is a special case because I believe Medusa is the name of what her name was as a woman, and she was like from my understanding, she was a very beautiful, beautiful woman. But Athena didn't like that, so she cursed her into just like the most hideous, disgusting Gorgon ever. I think in particular hers is described as the most disgusting version of a Gorgon ever. That's one of the things I like about Greek mythology is the gods of Greek mythology are so damn petty. They're like worse than people. Like they're people, but with godly powers that do stuff for stupid reasons. Like they're just like they're like the most petty people in the universe. It's incredible. It's amazing. It's amazing. I love it. Wow. Yep. Looks like Lupa's getting a little sloppy and just tearing the enemies apart. That's probably not a good thing. And got ambushed there, you can tell because I ran away, or they attacked first. I don't know. Either one, really. We're actually almost done with this place, which is nice. There's not too much more to go. It's just that if you don't know where to go, it's just... I mean, this place is fairly straightforward, I guess, so it's not too bad, but it's just, the waterways can be a little confusing. Ooh, and 2 luck noises, so that beats 4 luck. Definitely give that to my main character. Boop, boop. Yeah, I start working on his luck because his luck is pretty low. His luck is actually going to reach the 50s pretty soon, so... But yeah, though, his luck is pretty low, so... You really want to make sure it's not that low, because I think that's why I get ambushed so much. Plus, it also helps with items, too. So, yep. Kind of splitting them up. Doesn't really matter, though. My character has so much magic, he can tear through pretty much everything now. He'd be even more powerful if I gave him the other elements, which I actually do start with pretty soon with fire, just because at the end of each element chain, there's element resistance. So if you're because he's on the ice chain right now, the ice mantra, he would get ice resistant, but that's not really useful for him because he already ice doesn't do much damage to him anyways, but he's weak to fire. So I'm putting him on the fire one really soon, so that way he can get fire resist. So that way fire does neutral damage. So he's no longer weak to it, which is really nice. Very nice. I would like to do that for the other characters, but probably won't because it's not. I don't feel it's like nearly as necessary. I just like, I don't know, because I always just have him in the game, so I always like to have. He's just, I don't know. Because you can make him so overpowered, I just always have him in my group. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I think, okay, we're almost done with all the new enemies. There weren't as many there were quite a few new enemies, but we're going to be coming up against 3 new enemies really soon, all at the same time. Yeah. But yeah, though, I just, like I said, though, I just kind of love that aspect of Greek mythology. You know, they're just so petty, and it's like I just love it. You know, Zeus is just like this womanizer. Everyone's just kind of a petty asshole. I know there probably are some gods in Greek mythology that aren't like that, but everything I've read so far has kind of made me think that. I mean, Kratos is kind of right when his idea of hating gods kind of jerks. Not that he's a good man himself, but I can definitely understand where that hatred might stem from. And oh, there's a yellow wall. I don't get why they put a yellow wall here, because I think this is the path I don't remember if this is the pathway you need to go, or if it's just for an item. Actually, no, I think it's just for an item. So I guess it makes sense now, because one nice thing about this game is if you're playing it and you don't have any of the keys, they never put like the main pathway you need to go behind the wall, which is nice because then you wouldn't know what to do. So yeah, this is just for an item. I mean, usually they put really good items behind the walls, so you definitely do want to. Or maybe this is the way. I don't remember. I don't recall because I haven't recorded this part in a while, and I meant to have this video up earlier, but I just wasn't feeling well and work was busy. Okay, so you actually do need the key. No, you don't. Yeah, okay, no, this is just for an optional item. So I was right. So yeah, though. Sorry. Yeah, I meant to have this part up earlier, but I just wasn't feeling well. You know, I was busy with work, you know, that kind of stuff. But it's almost summer, and I'll have a shit ton of free time in the summer, so hopefully when it comes to more LPs, that will be an issue. I just need to figure out what I want to do. I honestly want to do another RPG right after this, but I know that will probably be overkill and burn out the few viewers that I have watching this. So I'm going to try not to. Alright, here we have this enemy. This is a Tanki, or also known as Dangu in Chinese. And this creature is born from the aura and essence of the earth. It's considered a sacred beast. But one thing that's interesting is, though, from what I've been reading, there's really no concise idea about what this creature is supposed to look like. There's no real thing describing what its appearance is or physical attributes are. So it's kind of interesting. I also like how he throws a tantrum on the floor with his attacks. But he resists physical and he's weak to earth and ailments. This enemy I find really annoying because it has the ability Sonic Scream. And Sonic Scream is super annoying because it causes your characters to be dazed, and when they're dazed, they won't attack, or sometimes they'll attack the way you don't want them to, or they'll heal enemies. It's just like, it's really, really annoying. I hate dazed really badly, and it hits every character. And I also have Celio out, and he is weak to ailments, and then that would give the enemy an extra turn. So it's really not good for me. It's really a detriment, but thankfully, I don't think I run across those guys anymore. I think I only ran across one, so that's good. Yeah, like I was saying, though, I want to do another RPG because I want to start another game series that I really, really like. But I don't want to burn out, so I'm probably going to have to do something else just because, you guys would probably get burned out with RPGs, and I totally understand that. I just happen to love RPGs. It's one of my favorite game genres. I don't know though. H.C. Bailey gets away with it. Maybe I could. But anyways. So here we go. More of the corpses of the brutes. Revival gem. Those are always helpful. Yep, Left 4 Dead. Man, Lupa is just going on a rampage. Oh, another level up for Gale. Good. One thing I found really impressive is how Gale kept his legs up that long when he had the knife to Lupa's neck. Like, that was impressive. Dude's got some really strong core legs. Like, I don't think Gale skips leg day. That is really impressive. Like, Gale's actually kind of buff too when you look at him. Like, he's got some like kind of like defined arms. It's like, damn, strategist and buff. My goodness, Gale, is there anything you can't do besides emotions? Which he would say is illogical and does not compute. But, oh well, that's Gale for you. And I think this way is just for another item. I think. I don't recall. Yeah, it's just for another item. I got pretty lucky that the ways I kept going were dead ends for items, because I try not to skip any items if I can. So that was really nice. And Forge Shot is actually a really strong bullet. It's 120, I believe, and it's also ice. I think it's ice. No, it's not ice, but it's 120, which I mean, if you have to use bullets, is pretty strong. But again, you never want to use bullets. You never want to be in your human form, unless I want to do that challenge run, which I kind of want to do. I'm actually seriously thinking about doing that for myself. If I ever figure out how to stream or want to stream, if I ever have the chance, that could be like a fun little stupid stream to do. All human run, just do completely human run, because you'd have to really rely on items. You'd have to rely on items and yeah, you'd have to really heavily rely on items to do any type of elemental damage or to put up shields. But I mean, I guess the nice thing is you wouldn't have any weaknesses. But I don't know if bullets, if your shooting is, I guess that would be attributed to strength, so you'd have to put it up to strength. So I guess heat might be okay. But the interesting thing is everyone has a different gun. I don't know if I mentioned that. So Surf has a pistol, so that attacks only one enemy. Celio has a machine gun, I believe. So everyone's guns, I guess, are relatively the same, except some of them attack more than once during the turn, like I think Celio's does. The only one that's really different is Heat's, and Heat has a grenade launcher, so that attacks everybody at once. Alright, and here we have the 3 new enemies. Well, I think we've already fought the middle one before. We fought the middle one before, but we haven't fought the one to the left and the right. And the one on the right is Fuki. And they're very similar to the last enemy that we fought, the guy in the middle. You know, being summoned by the Fujira no Chikta family, which is a noble family of the Heian period, which is 794 to 1185. Only difference is Fuki uses wind. He voids force and death, and he's weak to electric. While the guy on the right is a Kinki. He's named after gold, and apparently no weapon can pierce his body. He voids electric death, resist ailments, and he's weak to earth. So yeah, nothing much else than that. Not anything else special about it. That's just kind of it. As you can see, though, pretty damn easy though. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm just like eeny meeny miny mowing. There we go. I think I couldn't remember which one was weak to electricity. But yeah, though, they're really easy. As long as you don't attack them with the element that they absorb, it's fine. And I did, like an idiot there. And even then, see, look, only 83 damage with the strongest wind attack. I mean, with the high wind level attack, it's kind of pathetic. So, yeah, just not a threat at all, really, if you're anywhere decent leveled. And what am I doing? Come on, just attack already. Thank you. Oop, and I paralyzed him, so that's good. I should have come on. Oh, I should have physically attacked him. That would have been better. That would have given me an extra turn, but that's okay. Well, I guess I got the extra turn anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. And bam! Oh, he's still alive, though. I like his hand sound is kind of funny. I'll take that. And he's done. Pretty easy. But decent enough experience. And Celio leveled up. I always say his name differently. I sometimes call him Celio, I sometimes call him Celio, Sablanio, Chicadongo, you know, whatever. Despite that being an easy fight, I did actually take a pretty decent amount of damage. Mainly because I was being stupid. But it's not that hard. Plus, they put a save right in front of you, so... Take the save, though. Always take the save, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. You never know if you're going to run across an enemy that can muta your ass to death. Especially with the... Because soon enemies will start using the really improved version of the death spell, which hits everybody at once and has a high chance. You really want to get your characters to learn death resistance as soon as you can. Which is what I'm trying to do right now. It doesn't make you avoid death completely, but it makes you resist it a lot more. There is death null, or death void or whatever, so that way you never have to worry about death, which is really good, but it doesn't work on a certain secret boss that will instantly kill you, so death resistant is, I guess, in that part. And I saved there because, again, I was being super cautious because of what happened to the chattering skulls. Yeah, that still spooked me. That still spooked me. But thankfully, though, we are very close to the end. But whatever that fight I just did there really kicked my ass, apparently. But, and I don't know, where am I going? Come on, figure it out, Johan. Okay, this is the way you need to go. And I almost missed it, so I had to edit myself doing it. Oh, anyways, here's a new enemy we haven't fought yet. This is Pixie. Pixie's actually pretty... Pixie's seen in a lot of the Shin Megami Tensei games. He's usually, like, a lot of times your first partner, and is usually a healer. Funny enough, but Pixies, though, come from southwest England, and they're just small, mischievous creatures that usually live in the country or woodlands. There's many different interpretations, so depends on the size of their body, their wings, and what they look like. Sometimes it's said, though, that some humans transformed into pixies through misused magic. Interesting enough, though, the pixie we fought, though, is level 1. And the spell it tried to do was Megadolon, which is a mega version of an almighty magic. And almighty magic is just kind of neutral, normal magic that can't be reflected or anything. It just does neutral damage to everybody. But they avoid expel death and resist elect and earth, and they have a habit of calling for support, which will bring in high pixies, and then the high pixies have a habit of calling in support, which will bring a mad mob, which is just kind of increasing in power in their magic. Anyways, as you can see, though, I entered behind this waterfall to this secret room, and I actually missed it completely, and so I had to edit myself going back there because I almost completely left the whole area, and I was like, wait a minute, let me go back. I was only in the next room, but I was about to leave that room. But for this place, so you have to go very specific direction because you need to change the water pump, which will then change the direction that the water is going so that you can get to the red card. So yeah, this place is really easy to miss, though, because it's kind of not noticeable behind the waterfall, and then you need to go very specific pathway, and you don't have a ton of time. I mean, you have a decent amount of time, but again, if you don't know what you're doing, you could easily get yourself stuck in a circle and just go around and around and around. So having a guide here is really helpful. Thankfully, we can breathe underwater thanks to that oxygen tank. And whoop, whoa. Man, they must feel sick. Too bad we don't have like a Avatar tuner that turns into a sea monster. I guess the closest would be Celio's, who's could fly. He could fly, so I imagine he could maybe cut through the water pretty easily. And then we have Surf's, who's ice, but it's not quite really the same as water. I don't know. Heat's probably can't swim, though. He'll drown twice as fast, though, because he has 2 mouths. And Gale's probably can't swim either. And I think we're almost there. Thankfully, though, you have the solar sound. It has to go all the way up and all the way down before you'll be kicked out, which is nice. nice in the fact that it gives you time, but annoying if you're trying to get out, because it's actually kind of hard to get out of this place. So you just gotta waste time until it kicks you out again. And here we have the red key card. Yep. So with that, that's good. And when you go back in the water, you have to try and find your way out. So I just cut that out to where I waste a whole bunch of turns, so it just shoots me back out. I wish it did that instead, because it's really easy to get stuck in there, and then you just gotta wait until it kicks you out, which is kind of annoying, honestly, but it's what it is. And with that, though, we are pretty much done with this place. We just need to head up the stairs, and then we can go ahead and get out of here and get to Varen's base. Look at all that money I have. Yeah, you start getting money really fast. Thankfully, though, in the second game, there's an item that actually makes you get, like, double the amount of money from enemies, which is super nice. I wish they had it in this game, but they don't. Not a big deal, but it is a really nice thing to have. And you can get it really early in the game, too. You can get it, like, maybe 3 hours in, if that, or even less than that, honestly, which is really helpful. So, yeah, really, really helpful. So, yeah, I was right up here before. I was like, oh, wait a minute, I forgot the red key card. I should turn around. So, yeah, thankfully I remembered. Jeez. Lupa is not being kind. And we're at the end. Yep. I think there's just items behind those doors, but I honestly didn't feel like dealing with them. I know, being a little lazy, but I didn't feel like dealing with them. But this is the end of the dungeon. Ugh. Gross. Well, he can still breathe, kind of, through his gaping hole through his throat. You definitely want to save here, because the boss fight can actually be a little tricky. And actually, the first time I played through this game, he actually gave me a lot of trouble. This time he doesn't give me any trouble, because I know exactly what I'm doing, but first time he did. And this guy gives you 2 rations, which is like, that gives you only 50 HP. That's like so weak. I have just like a ton of rations now, which I guess you could use if you have like only a little damage. So yeah, I recommend you bring Heat into this fight, because he's actually really useful here. And Argilla too. I mean, anyone else you want to bring, but particularly Heat, because he's really good here.
This must be it.
Wait. It's not the same anymore.
Janana. It's just like Janana. Sarah, can't you help him?
I don't think I can. It's too late. I can't do anything now.
Yep, so we have to fight Lupa. And Lupa's creature, though, is Cerberus, also known Demon of the Pit. Cerberus, though, obviously a very famous creature from Greek mythology. He guards the gates of hell. I'm sorry, not the gates of hell. He guards the gates to the underworld. And interesting enough, though, so Cerberus's mom is Echidna, which is a half-serpent woman who is the mother of all monsters. And Storm, which is a Typhoon, who is a storm giant. And I actually didn't know this, but Cerberus actually has siblings: Orthus, Sphinx, and Chimera. And one really funny thing about Cerberus is he likes sweets. So something that will happen is Sharon, the boatman of the River of Styx, would feed Cerberus sweets. I don't know if there's a particular type of sweet that he likes, like if it's like mint or like honey or whatever, but he likes sweets, and I think that's how he would get through the gates and stuff like that. So that's really funny. But this boss fight, he absorbs fire, he voids elements, death, and expel. He resists electric force and earth. And interesting enough, his middle head has more HP than his other 2 heads. This fight, though, can be a little bit tricky because he has actually a lot of different abilities at his disposal. He has a couple different tactics he will do. He will, one, try and combine attacks to do this huge flame attack, which can do a lot of damage. One of his heads can heal. Another head can put a void ice, I believe. And I believe it's his left head. His left head will actually try and power up the middle head, like giving him more defense and more attack and more magic. And that's where this fight can be tricky, because if you let him, and he can also depower you as well, that's where this fight becomes tricky, because if you let him, he will give himself 6 bonus stats in every attribute. So he'll give himself a huge surge of physical attack, defense, magic, I don't think evasion, but he'll lower your evasion. So he could be very dangerous, especially if you don't have any way to negate his bonus stats. Thankfully, though, he doesn't do that in this fight, because I tear through him relatively quickly. And this is where heat's really important, because he can use Void Fire, but he can also use Void Physical, which is also really useful, because he will eventually not be able to use his fire attacks as much, so he will start just using physical attacks. And his physical attacks can do a pretty substantial amount of damage, so that's really helpful. But you also want to be careful about attacking him physically, because he has counter. So yeah, you have to be careful about that. But yeah, get rid of his other heads before you get rid of the main head. He also can do, I believe when he's just one head, when it's just his one head, he can actually start doing Magic Charge, I believe. And Magic Charge just basically powers up magic attacks. So yep, look, he's improving his physical ability. And he can also give himself more turns too, if I remember correctly. So he can be a pretty hard fight if you're not at a good level, or if you're unprepared. Thankfully, though, he doesn't give me that much trouble. But like I said, though, the first time I fought him, he was very difficult, and I actually did have to do a little bit of a level grind to get up to it. But yeah, though, he's not too bad if you know what to prepare yourself for. Plus, my character has so much magic, I can just keep blasting him with it, which is really nice. Because ice is the only element he doesn't resist. He's not weak to it, but he doesn't resist it, which is nice. I was trying to see if I had an item that would get rid of his stat bonuses, but I didn't. And I also didn't have the combination ability to do it either. So he just gets to keep his defense up and his attack up for a while. Not that it's too big of a deal, because he doesn't really use it to that much effect, to great effect. I really do like that attack, though. I like how he puts his heads together. It looks like an arrowhead. But yeah, though, his middle head has more HP than his other 2 heads, so the other 2 heads go down relatively quickly. I think the head that has... I think the 2 heads... I'm not sure if they all have different amount of HP, if they're the same. I think the 2 heads have the same. So there he goes using Mind Charge. But, again, not too big of a deal, because I can just keep hitting him with my magic. And just keep voiding. He can still use fire, but he can't use his combination fire, but... You gotta be careful, because thankfully he didn't have the chance to make his physical attack really high. Otherwise, his rend could do a ton of damage, and then you don't know if he's going to use his rend or his magic. Plus, he has magic charge too, so again, you really have to be cautious about what he might do. Because he can go either way, and either way can really ruin your day if you're not careful. But thankfully, he didn't get the chance to do that. Yeah, see, rend at least doing 100 damage. But I remember the first time I fought him, he put all... He had like 5 defense bonuses and 5 attack bonuses. So every attack was killing me, and none of my attacks were doing more than like 50 damage at a time. And then he would use power charge too, which made life really suck. But, yeah, not too bad. Not too hard at all. But it's a cool boss, though. I really like his design. I don't know. Oh, and there's Psycho Rage. I'm giving himself some extra turns. Yeah, he's almost dead, though. You can tell his animation. He's sulking. Yeah, he looks pretty cool when he just has 1 head, but he also looks really cool when he has 3, though. Because then he just looks like a really cool looking dog. And he's done. But he has a weird shark fish tail, though. But there we go. Get a pretty good amount of money and a decent amount of experience. But we don't get any Atma though, it looks like, because I don't think we eat them.
You can't fight the hunger forever. Once it takes over, nobody can help you anymore. That's why God said, this cycle of sadness must not continue. But
Please, devour me.
Lupa, what shall I tell your child?
Tell him to become a man of honor. He'll be carrying an olive leaf.
Your honor does not die with you. I will find your son. Angel or demon, you will surely regret giving me this cursed power!
Man, that scene always gives me pretty good chills. I like that scene a lot because there's something really sad about it. You know, Gale made his first real buddy, and then Gale learned a very powerful lesson about honor. But that's it, though. And that is it for there. And the next thing is we are now finally at the Brute's base. Okay, whatever. That may very well be so. In fact, could that be the tower's plan? The temple's plan? We don't know how far their eyes really go, do we? I don't think anything surprises me anymore. Yeah, we've kind of gotten to that point where nothing really does. Virus? What virus are you referring to? Must be the virus that turns us all into monsters, but how is that a virus? Like, a computer virus? I don't know. Anyways, and I don't know why I go into the shop. Because I have a couple of things to sell. Yeah, a couple. Again, I could have got more money if I let the solar thing wait longer, but again, I was being lazy and I just wanted to sell them off. Don't be like me. Wait till the solar, sound solar, whatever it's called, I keep forgetting, is up more so you can get more money. Again, it doesn't matter too much to me because, yeah. A crazy thing is we're really close to the end game. Like, we're really close. I'm surprised how fast I got there, but I think it's probably because I made each part an hour long. Because before, I would make everything like 20 minutes long, possibly 30. So, if you take that and, like, this is what, part 8? If you go make each part 3 parts long, probably, part 8. Yeah, this would have been, like, really long, but... And then, of course, I only put a video up twice a week. So, yeah. This would have taken a lot longer, but... Yeah, okay, but you know what? I'm ending the video here. I'll see you in the next part. Bye, then.